Viewers, you're watching The Hard Facts. Viewers, global computing owes a debt of gratitude to one great Bharatiya, a legendary mathematician called Aryabhatta. Had he not invented the concept of zero, we wouldn't have the binary system that enabled the third knowledge and cognitive revolution. If we as a human race have evolved much beyond our own expectations through computing, then we owe a debt of gratitude, a collective one, to Aryabhatta. But Aryabhatta wouldn't have made the discovery he did had he not been the product of the world's first and greatest university, Nalanda, viewers. The university was built in the heart of modern-day Bihar in the 5th century AD by the Gupta dynasty. At its height, Nalanda had more than 10,000 students, some say even more, and attracted more than 2,000 of the world's leading teachers. That's what the estimation. Its library housed the greatest intellectual works straddling medicine, science, math, philosophy, religion, culture, history, literature. Nalanda was the greatest intellectual powerhouse known to man. What's more, it predated Oxford and the world's oldest European university in Bologna in Italy by 500 years. But then a rapacious, bigoted outlook led to its razing. Bhaktiar Khilji, a marauder and colonizer, set about destroying Nalanda, killing its scholars and teachers, burning its library down to the ground, in an act of desecration which was just as great as the burning of the great library in Alexandria, viewers. The idea was to eviscerate all learning integral to Bharat's dharmic and intellectual heritage. The vile act almost beggared Bharat's intellectual imagination and set back scholarship for centuries. It was a cruel and spiteful blow to impose a narrow intellectual tradition that exalted exclusivism. Only fate prevented the total loss of Hindu and Buddhist intellectual, cultural, and spiritual agency. The Muslim invaders weren't the only ones. The British weren't far behind. Their approach was more insidious. They characterized the enormous intellectual achievements of Bharatiya knowledge systems, some of them founded, viewers, at Nalanda, as born out of a primitive intellectual endeavor. The trouble is that without the light of Nalanda to guide them, Bharatiyas accepted this spurious propaganda and exalted the Western intellectual tradition or model. But today, 8 centuries after, wave upon wave of the greatest lobotomies known to civilization, Bharat has taken an important symbolic stride to shake off the colonial yoke. Nalanda has risen. The glittering new university campus, as you can see on your screens, is throwing open its doors once again, viewers. Let me walk you through some of the great characteristics of Nalanda. It is built at a cost of 1,700 crores. Its schools include Buddhist studies, environment management. Campus has 2 academic blocks with 40 classrooms. Accommodates seating for 1,900 students, boasts 2 auditoriums and international center, amphitheater with seating capacity for 2,000 people, faculty clubs and sport complexes for the students. It also has visiting faculty, viewers, from Southeast Asia. The Prime Minister inaugurated the new Nalanda University, which is expected to illuminate the path to the Indic way and towards the reclamation of Vishwaguru status that Bharat once enjoyed. And I want us, viewers, tonight to discuss the enormity of this pivotal moment and form voices on this. Dr. Verma needs the both of them are authors, researchers, intellectuals, great learning. Dr. Ranganathan, let me bring you in first, if you can hear me. Where do you locate the conversation, the debate around Nalanda?
Good evening, Rahul. It's a very special day, and I'm proud that the Prime Minister inaugurated the new Nalanda University. It is you can call it a renaissance moment. But then I asked myself, why am I still a little bit sad? And that answer is what I want to give in the next couple of minutes. And that answer would be very clear from my very simple question. What is the name of the nearest railway station to Auschwitz? Auschwitz that holds a mirror to humanity, to tell us about how barbaric humans can be and how those crimes should never be repeated. is the railway station closest to Auschwitz where people get off and then visit Auschwitz? Is it called Adolf Hitler railway station? Is that the case? No, it's called Auschwitz. Why is it that the nearest railway station where people get off and then go towards Nalanda, this pride of India, why is it that that railway station is still named on Bakhtiyar? The same Bakhtiyar that burned down Nalanda, that took years to burn because millions of books had to be burned. And this is where I realized that nations, Rahul, weaken not because of their past, but rather by how they are taught it. For 70 years, we've been taught to forget historical injustices. From Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, Mathura to Martand, Babarpur to Bakhtiyarpur, Allahabad to Aurangabad. These injustices have deliberately been made visible as though to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. The irony is that the same people who have taught us this, drilled this self-loathing in us, these same people want others to fight historical injustice around the world. They condemn barbarians of the West hitherto worshipped like the Confederacy generals, Rhodes, Churchill, Pizarro, Murray, Colston, Leopold. They celebrate their roads and buildings being renamed, their statues being brought down. But here in India, this same set of Chauthi fail Muppets eulogize barbarians like Tipu, Aurangzeb, Babar, Khilji, Bakhtiyar. How does it feel to visit this magnificent new monument to India, to Bharat, Nalanda, and get off at the railway station named after the person who burned the original? There is no other way to explain it. It is a heady mix of hatred for Hinduism and love for jihadism. Hatred for India and love for its breakup. Aurangzeb and people like Bakhtiyarpur were Baghdadi 350 years before ISIS. The problem is we have cities and roads still named after them. Aurangzeb should have been renamed the day we got independence, Aurangabad or Aurangzeb Road. But the tragedy is we still haven't got independence, Rahul, from brainwashing and servitude. I hope we do soon enough. And this railway station next to this beautiful university inaugurated today would be renamed.
Okay, let me bring in author of a very important book, The Great Hindu Civilization, Pawan Verma, to the conversation also. Pawan Verma, you of course originate from Bihar. You have been part of the political firmament in Bihar. This is a monumental moment, isn't it? I mean, some people could describe it as Bharat emerging from colonial shadows to reclaim its sort of Vishwaguru status. There are many ways of looking at it. How are you looking at it?
Thank you, Rahul. I think this is an important subject. And I tend to agree with Anand that the name Bakhtiyarpur, and there is a village also called Bakhtiyarpur, which is the ancestral village of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Now, when Bakhtiyar Khilji burnt Nalanda, as you all know, history students know, it was a flourishing university. There were, as reported by contemporary visitors, including from China, there were 10,000 students and 2,000 teachers. It was the Harvard of Asia. There were students in Nalanda from Tibet, Korea, and the Middle East. It was a center of excellence which had no other equal in the world at the time in the 6th century CE when it was established. And what is remarkable is that contrary to some popular impressions, it was not exclusively a university that focused on Buddhist studies. It was teaching Buddhist studies, but it was also teaching Vedanta. It was teaching Hindu philosophy. It was teaching mathematics. It was teaching linguistics. Now, this university was burned down. And again, Anand is right that it took more than a year for the flames to die down, because there were some 6 million manuscripts which were invaluable and cannot be replicated, which were in the library. So it was indeed a great loss to Indic culture. Now, having said that, I want to say that the Nalanda University was established by an Act of Parliament in 2010. It took 4 years at a cost of 1800 crore rupees. You have said 1700, my information is 1800 crores. And a campus size of 465 acres spread around the picturesque city of Rajgir to build a university which commenced operations 10 years ago in 2014.
Yes.
I have rarely seen a legacy as remarkable as that of Nalanda being in a way so transparently being squandered as the new university has done. If you go to Nalanda, you will find that students are leaving. There are a total, in 2022, there were a total of just about 400 students. Teachers are leaving. Faculties that are promised to have been built and offered courses have not been opened. And we have a great institution named after a great legacy which is languishing.
Right.
It was a university backed by 18 countries from East Asia. There were foreign professors there who are leaving. There was an attempt to control the freedom of the university, which led to many academicians leaving. So I want to ask the question, if we are as conscious as we should be of the remarkable achievements of our past and are trying to resurrect them,
Right.
what have we been done when we have finally woken up and been given the chance?
Okay.
For 10 years, that university is a monument to neglect.
Okay. Which is...
And I want to put this on record.
Yes. Okay. So let me bring in those both important caveats coming in from Doctor as well as Mr. Verma. Important caveats. Now, let me bring in Mr. Mahurkar, who's also written an acclaimed book on RSS, partition and other subjects. Mr. Mahurkar, look, a university will only be as great as its ability to ferment real, unchallenged, unfettered, ecumenical, intellectual research, etc. Is that possible in the Nalanda of today?
Certainly. The pace might be slow. I have not gone into the details of the how things stand there, but certainly, I think it has a very bright future, and I think once the new campus is operational, things will move very fast. But takeaway for me today was the kind of figures and the kind of picture which the Prime Minister drew about our advancement in the field of education. You see, the impression which goes around is that we have done not very well on education in the last 10 years. But today, the kind of figures he gave of aims, of colleges, of IIMs, IITs, ITIs, I think it was a revelation for me. So, I think the Prime Minister's speech today has to be appreciated. The way he has linked the past with the present and with the future, for that matter. So, while Nalanda, how things stand at Nalanda, I do not know, but I am fully with Anand that the name of the station should have been changed by now. I think this is something which is reprehensible, I would say. I mean, this 60 years of the Congress rule, it was as if the Wahhabis and the Deobandis were running the government from inside.
Well, so 10
that
years,
is how it can
10
happen.
years the NDA
so
has
many
been
cities
there.
named
10
after
years,
invaders.
10 years the NDA has been there. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you've fallen
No,
short
so
of
what
that
I'm saying is
majority
that for the,
mark.
for,
I don't
for the
know.
First,
we are talking about majority here. The majority mark, pun intended. But anyhow, I don't want to go down that route constantly. I'm looking really at the potential There are no second chances, viewers. We've
So
gifted
it
ourselves
has
one.
got great potential. You see the
Yes.
apna Rahul, the way the ambassadors were present today.
Okay.
I went before joining this talk. I went
The
into what has
symbolism is
happened
not
over the
the
last 10,
answer to
15
running
years.
a successful
I think it's very
university.
encouraging. Maybe things are not so bright as of now, but I think with the inauguration of the campus, things will move very fast. I have no
Okay.
doubt about it.
Two reactions
and with
coming
so
to
many
what you're
countries
saying.
involved.
Okay.
17 countries.
Okay, so you're saying that together we will build. Fair enough.
I look at it very positively.
Okay, okay. Dr. Ranganathan.
No doubt, as I said, Rahul, that this is a proud moment. But just add my two bit, and I'm disclosure. I might be saying this because I also dabble in science. But Pavanji very rightly said that the Nalanda, the original Nalanda, made unbelievable contributions to the fields of mathematics, to Ayurveda, to science. So I'm a little bit perplexed, especially going forward, considering the huge strides that India is making and going to make in the field of education. Why is this university not having any departments as far as in science, in engineering, and in mathematics and
no
in medicine?
STEM subjects.
I
Yeah,
think-
that's even I was
think
sort of perplexed.
if you want to learn only, don't want to learn anything, then learn only one thing. So
Okay.
I think universities should have a kind of a composite of every subject, especially the sciences.
That's a very good point. Yes, Pawan Verma, you wanted to make a final point before I wrap this up. Yes.
No, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly, Rahul. You see, where Nalanda is located has very little other recreational or entertainment pursuits because it's Rajgir in the interior of Bihar. Now, you build a campus. You've been building, it took you 4 years to build it. It took you 10 years after its inauguration to run it. And as pointed out now, there are key faculties associated with the original Nalanda, which should by now have been an incubator for original seminal work if you were doing it in the name of Nalanda. Here we have a situation where the Vice Chancellor was the Singapore Foreign Minister and left because he said the political interference is too much. Now I say to you, if Nalanda was a vibrant center at one time, the pride of the world for the freedoms of intellectual expression it allowed for, why is it that we in that name of the same university have made a mess of such a prestigious project? I call it a mess because I
Okay.
know exactly the politics that go on there, the fact that the university has not taken off, the fact that the students are disillusioned, and the best of the foreign teachers have come and left.
Well, viewers, let me be
And
very
there are-
honest here.
There are problems there which need to be resolved.
Perhaps there are things about the Indic way that we really need to adopt. Maybe that's what will guarantee us the greatness that Bharat enjoyed before it was, of course, colonized by this rabble. But nonetheless, viewers, more breaking news, of course, coming in. Very quickly, Mr. Mahurkar, any final points you want to add? Because you see, at the end of the day, we can build the buildings, but we need to also live up to the legacy that those buildings represent.
Frankly, Rahul, I am not so pessimistic about it because I have been in touch with the Vice Chancellor there also.
Right.
The lady was there, I think Mrs. Singh, you know. So I have kept myself informed about it. There were problems, but I think there is no need to be so pessimistic. I think once the campus is inaugurated, things will move very fast. I am sure the government will pay full attention. There's involvement of so many countries. So I think I look at it very with a lot of hope.
Okay, well,
In terms of
hope lives
exchange of
eternal,
knowledge,
viewers.
exchange of students at that global level.
Hope lives eternal.
It's not about pessimism, it's about a reality check.
It's about a reality check. Says. Okay, anyhow, viewers, look, the point is we're at a pivotal moment. It's a moment of inflection. You know, I can use many more cliches, but the
Absolutely.
point is we've got to take the opportunity. It's presenting itself in a propitious way right now Let's grab it. Let's not make the mistakes of the past. In fact, if anything, let's go right back to the past and learn from it, because it was a hoary past. And I leave it at that, viewers. More decisions been made by the Union Cabinet. We'll update you on that when we return.
नालंदा एक पहचान है, एक सम्मान है। नालंदा एक मूल्य है, नालंदा एक मंत्र है, गौरव है, गाथा है। नालंदा है उद्घोष इस सत्य का कि आग की लपटों में पुस्तकें भले जल जाएं, लेकिन आग की लपटें ज्ञान को नहीं मिटा सकती। नालंदा के ध्वंस ने भारत को अंधकार से भर दिया था। अब इसकी पुनर्स्थापना